G'day there folks, it is Connor here again and we're back with some more stories from Reddit. As always, if you enjoy these videos, be sure to hit like and subscribe, and also the notification bell so you never miss an episode. Alrighty, let's get right into it. Alrighty folks, we're on relationship advice. This one was written by a throwaway account, and it's titled, My brother-in-law is making claims that he knows my secret, and I don't understand. My brother-in-law, 30, is my sister's, 29, husband. We live on opposite sides of the country, and my sister and I aren't that close, so I'd say that we don't know each other very well. We see each other at family gatherings maybe a few times a year, and he's always come off as a very average, kind of quiet guy. Around 2 months ago, I received a text from him out of the blue. It wasn't to check up on me or asking how I'm doing. The message said he's aware of what's going on, but that there was no need for me to worry and he'd keep it hush-hush. I wrote a quick message back asking what on earth he meant, but all I received back was another reassurance that I had nothing to worry about and that he was on my side. At that point I gave up and assumed it was some weird joke, even though my brother-in-law has always been pretty serious. Recently I was in a Zoom call with my parents and sister. The first thing my sister asked when she saw me was, "Are you going to tell everyone the truth or just my husband?" Obviously I was confused and I mentioned the text message brother-in-law sent me, but my sister still seemed angry at me and I have no idea why. The next day I called up my brother-in-law and asked him what the hell is going on with this. He was very cagey on the phone and just kept repeating rhetorical questions back at me like, "Do you know what's going on?" I'll admit that I lost my temper at one point and snapped at him since he wasn't giving me any answers. That was a bad idea, since this morning I got a new text from brother-in-law telling me that he'd tried to do me a favor that I clearly don't appreciate. He mentioned, "We'll see what happens this weekend," which is the next time we're all meeting for a late Thanksgiving. Honestly, I'm terrified. The thing is, I have no idea what secret my brother-in-law could possibly be talking about. I don't live a very exciting life and I mostly keep to myself. There's still a part of me that's scared of whatever truth he says he's about to reveal, even though I don't think I've done anything wrong. What do I do? Geez, yeah, weird. What could they possibly be talking about that OP has no idea about? Let's see what the comments think. My first thought was that you might have a vindictive ex who posted nudes of you online or something, but that shouldn't make your sister mad at you. Unless she's mad that her husband went looking for nudes online and it's easier to be mad at you than at him. Second thought is that there's a porn actor out there that looks kind of like you and he thinks he has blackmail material because he's an idiot. In any case, since your brother-in-law is clearly devoted to being an ass, call your sister. Say, "What the hell is your idiot husband doing? He's been sending me messages for months about keeping some secret quiet. I have no frickin' idea what he's talking about, but it sounds like he told you. So would you mind cluing me in?" Rumors and more. Talk to your sister and tell her you have no idea what's going on for her to find out and tell you before the get-together. Otherwise, the way things are stacked, you might be walking into a roadside bomb situation. OP replies, "It's going to be hard to talk to them. My family and I aren't close at all. And growing up, I always took the blame for everything that went wrong in our house. I'm really scared that my parents will believe whatever my brother-in-law tells them because I'm the troublemaker of the family." Go ahead of the reveal by explaining the strangeness of the brother-in-law to your close family. When he reveals what he thinks is a secret, it will be rather muted. And who knows what he thinks he knows? He's probably seen some odd email or text or social media message that he thinks is yours. Or he's taken some innocent remark and conflagrated it to something bigger than it is. Who really cares? Like you said, you have no relationship to speak of with either of them. Don't live in fear. Tell the family what you do know. And if he comes to the family gathering with some tale of sin on your part, then so be it. You've already said your piece. His actions speak more about him than about you. Look at it this way too. His tale of misinformation will show you who in your family is more into the drama than into the character of your soul. This is good information to have at any time. They reveal themselves now rather than when it's really important and you need them for emotional support. Text him back and say you're looking forward to it because you have no idea what he's talking about and the vague hinting is getting annoying. Then stop worrying about it because you haven't done anything terrible, and whatever he thinks he knows, you can't clear it up until he spits it out. He is manipulating you. Look what he has accomplished. I wouldn't be surprised this was all drama to cover up his affair or other bad behaviour. A bit of a mix in the comments. Okay, Opie updates 16 days later. Hi everyone. Just before Thanksgiving, I posted about my brother-in-law harassing me over a secret. Well, Thanksgiving came and I was terrified. I almost backed out entirely and stayed in bed all day instead of going to the Zoom meeting. I did end up going in the end, and the first 20 minutes were incredibly awkward. My family and I aren't really compatible at the best of times, but there were silences that lasted minutes. Eventually my mother gave in and said, "We'd better get this over with." I've never been more terrified in my life. I somehow snapped my phone case in half because I fidget with things when I'm nervous. My brother-in-law started talking about how he'd tried to keep my secret for me, but I clearly wasn't grateful. And then he told everyone, quote, "You should know that she's gay." Everything got really awkward again, except for a different reason. My whole family already knows I'm gay. I have no idea how brother-in-law never found out before now. I don't get on with my family, but me being gay has never been one of our issues. It's something nobody bothers me about and we don't talk about. My sister lost it with him immediately and said, "Really? This is what you've been going on about?" We ended up ending the Zoom call very early since my parents decided they were tired, but I think they both just didn't want to deal with this anymore and were sick of me and brother-in-law. I've decided to block brother-in-law's number in my phone, since other than this we had no messages anyway, and I'm not going to be visiting my sister anytime soon. God, what a prick that brother-in-law sounds like. I mean, even if the family didn't know she was gay, what's his end game? Just outing her to the entire family? Who does that? Like, I tried to keep it a secret, but you just weren't grateful enough. Like, what does that mean, and what does he want from her? Doesn't make sense. Anyway, guys, what are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, leaving that there and moving on to the next. Okie dokie, we're still on relationship advice. This one was written by a throwaway account, and it's titled, "My fiancé talked openly about our sex life and dismissed my being hurt by it. I, 32 male, have been with my fiancé, 34 female, for 2 years now, and I found out recently that she's been sharing intimate details about our sex life with pretty much anyone who asks, like friends, co-workers, strangers she's just met, etc. For backstory, I was fat and depressed most of my life, and at 29 I finally stuck with the diet and exercise plan that works for me, and the results have been great. Without trying to brag, I have a lean, toned build. Think of a swimmer's body with some free weights added, since these activities are my favourite ways to work out. Last year's Halloween was the first time I felt confident enough to wear a revealing outfit to try and show off a bit. I have pretty curly hair, and I've always admired men that could pull off androgynous looks, so that Halloween I went as Dr. Frankenfurter. My outfit was a corset, fishnets, heels, a fake pearl necklace, and a biker jacket in case I got cold. My fiancée absolutely went wild when she saw me in it, and was probably the horniest I've ever seen her that night, so we had sex while I was still in the outfit. Since then, she's asked me if I would occasionally dress in lingerie for her. I don't really get any sexual pleasure from wearing them, but she likes it, so it became a semi-regular part of our sex life. I now have a collection of corsets, garter belts, fishnets, stockings, thongs, and pantyhose. I don't wear them regularly, and I wouldn't wear them at all if it wasn't for my fiancé. I guess she must have told her friends about it, because one of my friends is dating one of her friends, and he shared a screenshot of their texts saying that I like to dress in drag. He asked me if it was true, making sure to let me know he wasn't going to judge me if it was, and I told him what I typed above. But obviously I was ticked that so many people knew the intimate details about our sex life. I confronted my fiancée about it, and it's important to know that she's a pretty free spirit when it comes to sexuality, so when I asked her why she shared that information, she said, "We all talk about our sex lives in the group chat." I asked who else knew and why she thought it was okay to share, and she said, "Stop blowing this up. I've only told a few co-workers and my friends whenever we talk about sex." I got really mad and left to stay at a friend's that night, and I told her that I was seriously reconsidering whether I wanted to be in this relationship or not. Now she's alternating between trying to get me to come home so we can talk and telling me I'm blowing things out of proportion because there's nothing wrong with what we do. I know there's nothing wrong with what we do, but I consider it private, and I honestly feel a bit emasculated. I know wearing lingerie doesn't make me any more or less of a man, but emotionally I still feel that way. I'm not even really sure why I'm here. I think I just need to talk to people on the internet because it's not comfortable to talk about this stuff with anyone in real life. I really don't know how to get over this, if I should get over this, or if I'm just being too sensitive. I love her more than anyone in this world, but she's shown she doesn't care if her actions make me feel bad. I don't know, my head's a mess. Any advice is appreciated. Yeah, I don't know, definitely not on for her to share that information without OP's say-so, I think. Let's go to the comments. All aspects of your sex life should be consensual, including who gets to know the details of what goes on in the bedroom. This is super messed up, major betrayal of trust. You two need to sit down and have a conversation about this. And don't let her belittle or write off your feelings, okay? You gave valid reasons to feel the way you do. Don't let her convince you otherwise. This was a big thing for you, and she needs to respect you enough to see it that way. 2 things. 1, good on you, dude, for bucking some norms and breaking out of your comfort zone. That takes guts. The second thing is trust. She asked you to do something that is not a norm. You did it for her, and she shared those details without your permission. Imagine if you outed her to your friends for some of her embarrassing things she does in the bedroom. Reddit would crucify you for kink shaming, breaking trust, misogyny, and a whole lot of other things, and rightfully so. You deserve dignity, and she stole that from you. You can't trust her to keep your private life private. Is that what you want for your future? You're not being too sensitive. I have a special disgust for anyone who tells their partner that they're blowing things out of proportion. That is the opposite of supportive and kind. It's judgmental, unaccepting, and alienating, and depending on the situation, downright cruel. Especially ironic here, given that she's in the wrong. I don't care about her free spirit. That's a lame excuse for betraying your partner and then treating them poorly when they express their pain. The correct answer when you approached her would have been something like, "Oh my god, I didn't realize. I'm so sorry that I hurt you. That wasn't my intention at all. I'd like to better understand how it impacted you. I feel terrible and I never want to do it again. How can I make this right?" To me, there's no excuse for her cavalier attitude about having broken your trust, because that's exactly what this is. An invasion and betrayal of privacy and the resulting breach of trust. I agree with your original gut feeling. I would be re-evaluating whether I wanted to spend my life with someone like this. It's literally emasculating you for her kink, which you're willing to do to appease her desires. That's a hell of a sacrifice. She isn't even capable of admitting she shouldn't have shared that without your permission. She is wrong in every way possible. That would be a one-way ticket to make me walk on eggshells around her. So you can do things for her, but she isn't willing to do things for you, like keep it private. She needs to apologize, understand boundaries, and be a better person. Now every time you see her friends and co-workers, they're going to see you in skimpy lace. Good luck, man. She sucks for that, but I don't know if it's relationship ending. She just needs to ask you first. Also, don't do anything you don't want to anymore. I know you say you don't mind it's for her, but if a part of you doesn't want to do it, don't. Opie replies, "I think you were able to articulate some of the things I feel in a way I couldn't. Thanks for commenting." Someone else adds, "What happens behind closed doors must stay behind closed doors. I understand if she talked about it to close friends, maybe she didn't know your boundaries. But invading your privacy and degrading your dignity to strangers and co-workers by talking about something so intimate is not okay. It really shows the lack of morality and boundaries on her part. To top it all off, she's been trying to make you feel guilty for feeling the way you do. The issue may be deeper than you anticipated if she's more inclined to gaslighting you rather than trying to solve the issue and apologizing." Some good points there. Let's go to an update a little over 2 months later. I decided to break up with my fiancée, and it started a crap storm. I told her I felt disrespected, and it was messed up she would try to pass off her kink as mine, especially when she knew that the only reason I participated was for her sake. She begged and pleaded for me to take her back, but I just couldn't view her in the same way, and I couldn't feel comfortable around her. After she realized I wouldn't take her back, she started calling me a little B-word and a sissy, which struck me as off because I don't know many people who use the word sissy, and said she'd make sure everyone knew how much of a B-word I was. This whole confrontation happened in our apartment, and it was after she said all of that that I decided to leave. She told everyone she could think of that I had a lingerie kink, and I loved wearing women's underwear. She also started using some transphobic language, specifically calling me a tranny and ladyboy. Lucky for me, I never allowed her to take pictures of me while I was in lingerie, so when some family members and friends asked, I just told them she was crazy and trying to get back at me for breaking up with her. Maybe it would have been better to explain the situation, but I'm still embarrassed, and I didn't think anyone really needed to know about any specifics about the situation. Her family was sure to let me know that I was a POS and weird and a tranny. I blocked her and them though, so that didn't last for long. Our lease was almost up, and I have a friend who owns his home, so it was relatively easy to move out. I burned all the lingerie I bought, so now there's no real evidence of that particular activity, which is a weight off my shoulders. I really wish I could forget the whole relationship, to be honest. I'm looking into buying my own house, since I have a decent amount of savings, and my friend is only charging me utilities, so I can save up even more. A bright note in all of this is that she lost her friends. It turns out that her friends didn't like how she was talking about me, so they recruited my other friend to ask me about the texts I mentioned in the previous post. After we broke up, I got several messages from them saying they thought how she treated me was messed up, and that they'd all stopped talking to her. I think it's cool that they stood up for me despite not knowing me all that well. These past couple of months have been really hard on me, and though I got out in a relatively easy way, I still can't seem to move past it. I've been drinking more than I should and turning to psychedelics to try and process this whole situation. I know these actions are self-destructive, but it's so hard to face the world. I feel embarrassed, emasculated, and unattractive. I can't see how I'm supposed to open up to a partner in the future when my trust has been broken in such a uniquely painful way. I really wish I could turn my emotions off and just live in a state of apathy. I know I should probably try therapy, but this intense shame makes it really hard to talk about. Anyway, I'm just updating Reddit in an effort to get all these feelings out somewhere. I hope this update offered some closure for anyone interested in my story. And some final comments. Quote, "Stop blowing this up. I've only told a few coworkers and my friends whenever we talk about sex. Tell one person a secret like that and the whole world is going to know." She told coworkers. Jesus effing Christ. Holy Christ, it turns out the girl has a humiliation fetish, only it's her dishing it out and someone else taking it. F her for ruining that guy's confidence. It's not too rare a fetish. Like all fetishes, especially BDSM and power play fetishes, it needs to be consensual, or you're an a-hole committing abuse. If she's so free-spirited, why couldn't she have said OP's great for indulging her? Could even admit it was just fun after the first time, which wasn't even planned. Ideally, she would have asked for permission to share, but the dichotomy of, we talk about these things, and I lied about the details, so it's you that wants to be in drag, has my head reeling. It's just abusive, I think. She was obviously aware sharing certain things about herself would cause her discomfort. At the same time, she caused that very discomfort for OP, and even made it worse. She could have just kept it all private. She could have gone the, "we're so open-minded, I want to share the fact he indulged my requests" route you suggest. Instead, she chose to keep her own involvement private, and apparently told everyone who didn't flee in time, I mean her co-workers too, about his, or actually their, bedroom activities. It's hard for me not to believe the goal was humiliation. Well, and then it escalated from there with the slurs and all. It's wild when someone has exactly what they want and then they mess it up by not being able to respect the lowest of boundaries or apologize. I hope that he's able to get past the shame and get therapy because he deserves some real peace and light. Bro, she had it good and just needed to apologize. I know, right? Ego is a hell of a drug. The world would be an infinitely better place if we could all go, "You know what? You're right. I'm sorry." I like how her friends were like, "Yo, all that transphobic crap's messed up." Good on them for having standards. Some people are just delulu. She had a guy that would do the things she liked and screwed it all up. He even gave her a chance to rectify the breach in trust and she fumbled that. Bullet dodged for him. Hope he was able to learn from it. People that are willing to go out of their comfort zone for their loved ones are rare. Yeah, well put. Anyway, guys, we're going to leave that story there. As always, give me your thoughts in the comments below. And that's it from me today. Hope you enjoyed those stories. Thanks for making it to the end, and I'll see you all in the next video. Have a good day. Cheers.